Auto 6 to have female hero and scale back racist, sexist jokes, according to a report. Well, that's no fun. What is GTA known for? When GTA pops into your head, what do you guys think of? Because when I hear GTA, I imagine doing unspeakable things, hearing unspeakable things, and generally pushing the envelope to places that no company has had the fucking balls to go to before. Rockstar Games was always the studio that did not give a single shit, and they showed it to you in every single game until now.
Waking up inside another place like this, a confusion, a jumbled mess.
Ah! Why must you always jump scare me? It's not funny. Also, how did you get into my room? Really? It wasn't locked? Well, geez, you could at least knock. I should exile you to be consumed in a river of boiling blood. But I have too much of a soft spot for you. You consistently want to listen to me rant about God only knows what. Most people just say stupid things like, stop talking to yourself. Stop, quote unquote, imagining people who aren't there. Stop, generally being crazy. I mean, excuse you. Rude. I have friends, lady. I don't need to talk to myself. I have friends who care about my well-being. They're also real. I'm perfectly mentally sound. Thank you very much. Oh, you have something you'd like me to talk about, do you? Sure, absolutely. What is it?
GTA 6 will star a pair of characters loosely inspired by the infamous robber duo Bonnie and Clyde. The female character will be Latina, and the game's story will take place in a fictional version of Miami, aka Vice City. I think what they meant to say there was Latinx. Someone should make that typo. Correction. Oops. So this seems pretty lame, right? And when I say this seems pretty lame, I'm talking about the theme only, all right? But we'll get to the rest of it in a minute. But based off of Bonnie and Clyde, what? Why on earth would I want to follow around some whack-ass love story when I'm trying to go out and wreak havoc on society?
Seriously? Are you kidding me? Are these guys still doing this? For real? Oh my god. Oh, it's so predictable. It's so childishly predictable. This kind of video is such a meme at this point. I just look at it and immediately assume whoever made it has nothing intelligent to say, nothing worthwhile to contribute to the topic, and is simply doing it because for some reason in 2022 current year, there's still a market for these rage bait videos. Videos made for no other reason than to complain about games and movies, trying to appeal to someone other than the same demographic over and over again. It's just, how do you people still watch this crap? It's the same video over and over and over and over and over again. It doesn't even matter what they're talking about. It's the same boring talking points, the same tepid complaining, the same brain dead slogans. I mean, above all else, they're just boring. On top of whiny and inaccurate. I think somebody sent me this one a while ago. Sorry, I don't remember who, but thank you. I did find this video particularly dumb, even by the low standards of this subgenre of YouTube. Let's actually keep track of all the cliches. Why not, right? Here's a good place to start. Every bad anti-SJW video starts with the title, which is, of course, clickbait. Nowhere in this video is there proof of woke feminists ruining, quote-unquote, ruining GTA 6. These are just feelings based on the author's obviously rage-fueled bias. The second part of it more perplexingly claims that there will be, quote-unquote, no controversial jokes in GTA 6, a claim that is in no way backed up by the article that he reads in the video. You'll see later that this article says there's less misogynistic and openly hateful jokes, so this entire title is literally just a shameless lie. Another classic is the clickbait rage fuel thumbnail. Woke garbage in capital letters. All he needed was some arrows and somebody with red eyes, maybe even big red or green shirt SJW guy. I'm surprised those dead memes are nowhere in sight. That would make this a classic. A classic. Oh, I already feel my brain cells jumping off a bridge, and we haven't even gotten into the video yet.
Fellas, the fat feminists have gone too far now, all right? We have given up so many things in the last 5-10 years. All right, you can't say anything fun on YouTube anymore. Everything you watch on Netflix is some woke garbage. Your favorite characters from TV shows have had their orientations changed like 10 years after the shows ended for some reason. A lot has happened, all right? And we've put up with it. But this This is just goddamn unacceptable now. This ain't right. Grand Theft Auto 6 to have female hero and scale back racist, sexist jokes, according to a report. Well, that's no fun. What is GTA known for? When GTA pops into your head, what do you guys think of? Because when I hear GTA, I imagine doing unspeakable things, hearing unspeakable things, and generally pushing the envelope to places that no company has had the fucking balls to go to before. Rockstar Games was always the studio that did not give a single shit, and they showed it to you in every single game until now.
Stop. Let's just point out cliche number 3 in blaming everything you don't like on fat feminists or the left, much in the same way SJWs blame white supremacy for everything wrong with the world. Of course, with no proof other than you don't agree with the changes that were made. But to get to the actual points being made, Rockstar didn't give a fuck what you thought. Until now. Fucking... What the fuck are you talking about? Please tell me you're joking, right? Do I really have to explain why this is the dumbest thing I've heard in a long-ass time? I feel like I'd be insulting everyone's intelligence. But I'll explain it anyway. Companies always care about what the public thinks about them. They are making a product that they want people to buy. Rockstar is caved to public pressure all of the time, most notably the hot coffee mod in GTA San Andreas. That got the game's rating changed from mature to adults only, which means regular retailers, like Walmart, won't sell it. So they caved in and patched it out completely. So much for not giving a fuck about anyone else's opinions, huh? Whoops, turns out they actually did give a fuck about the public's opinion, because that's how capitalism thrives, my friend. So, if I could ask one more time, what the fuck are you even talking about?
GTA 6 will star a pair of characters loosely inspired by the infamous robber duo Bonnie and Clyde. The female character will be Latina, and the game's story will take place in a fictional version of Miami, aka Vice City. I think what they meant to say there was Latinx. Someone should make that typo. Correction. Oops. So this seems pretty lame, right? And when I say this seems pretty lame, I'm talking about the theme only, all right? But we'll get to the rest of it in a minute. But based off of Bonnie and Clyde, what? Why on earth would I want to follow around some whack-ass love story when I'm trying to go out and wreak havoc on society in a video game, right? Just in a video game. Why would I give a shit about that? Bonnie and Clyde is such an old story. It's been paid tribute to in so many video games, movies, TV shows, like media of all sorts. It's nothing new. Usually when GTA comes out, the story is extremely groundbreaking and it's like mind-blowing, and I don't know, nothing about this sounds groundbreaking to me. This is...
What the hell am I listening to right now? This little rant is just... It's just so stupid. I don't even know what to say. I mean, what do you mean Bonnie and Clyde's storyline sounds boring? I mean, what? I mean, it sounds like it would work just fine for GTA. I mean, Vice City was a homage to Scarface, so the game also being in Miami, being about Bonnie and Clyde, that makes sense as far as GTA is concerned. I mean, GTA has always had excellent writers, too. If anything, it isn't another rags to riches story like many of the other GTAs, San Andreas 4, 3, 5 most notably. But it's what he says after this that's especially...
all in keeping with an attempted culture shift at the company. Shortly before the release of Red Dead 2 in 2018, Kotaku reported on brutal overtime at the famed studio. There have been allegations of abusive behavior as well, including against a former VP. Now, fellas, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. I know a lot of you probably already know this, because most of you, I assume, are working age according to my YouTube analytics tab, but no matter what company you work at, video games, not any industry, literally all of them, there's almost always some kind of abusive behavior going on in the workplace, because most people just don't know how to fucking act, and it's sad, it's gross, it's unwanted, and most of us wish it would go away, but that's something everybody should know. If you've never, had a job before, even worked in an office or any type of company, really, all of my jobs throughout college and stuff, there was always some dude acting out of line, and that doesn't make it right, but that just makes it reality. And I always see these people on Twitter getting upset at stuff about Activision, these other game developers that have these behavioral problems, and just don't make the mistake of thinking that it's exclusive to the video game industry, because it absolutely is not.
No shit, workplace abuse happens everywhere, no matter where you go, but what's with the implication that only activists give a fuck about workplace abuse? I mean, you do realize the severity of allegations being thrown at Blizzard Activision, right? Just in case you don't, I have a video linked in the description that goes into the extent of the fucked up shit that's going on with that lawsuit. So, there's something, I don't know, there's something uniquely off-putting about hearing him basically say, "Welp, what can you do? Shit happens, ba-dum-bum. Yeah, but people pay their bills with these jobs. I don't know, maybe have less of a lazy attitude towards the idea of people being mentally abused at their jobs. I don't know, that's just my opinion.
See, what we haven't been paying attention to, fellas, and the reason why so many things are woke nowadays is because in the last 10 years, there's an entirely new generation of people entering the workforce. They, them, ACAB Emily, who was 15 10 years ago, is now 25 and went to school for game development, and now she works at Rockstar. That's why shit like this is bleeding over into masterpiece franchises like GTA, and they're just gonna destroy their own legacy like most other franchises that end up doing this.
I mean, I honestly don't understand how you can say this and not realize what a complete doofus you sound like. There are so many problems with your argument, it's insane. First and most blatantly, the article he's responding to is a compilation of rumors. Let me repeat. The thing he is complaining about the hardest are things that are rumored. These changes in material are in no way confirmed and is so vague you can't make an educated judgment on what's going to be taken out or what was meant to be there in the first place. So in other words, you are literally offended over nothing. Cue the insufferable anti-SJW cliche, they're ruining the insert franchise name here, legacy. Which that statement leads me to ask whether or not you understand the quote-unquote legacy of the franchise you're defending. Could you, for instance, explain to me how this unspecific change will lead to the end of Grand Theft Auto? All it says is it will feature less jokes targeted at minorities and overtly misogynistic jokes. Are you really gonna sit here and try to tell me that something like this is absolutely pivotal to GTA? Because if you did, you'd be talking out of your ass. Anybody who knows anything about GTA knows that it's a satire of modern America. It's like the South Park of video games. It makes fun of everything and everyone: hippies, vegans, greedy corporations, hyper-consumerist culture, the absurdity of modern politics, entitled rich kids, celebrity culture, you name it, they've made fun of it. The impotent rage character, the Republican Space Rangers, Weasel News, I mean, those are my favorite examples, besides also how gun-happy the police are, because it's accurate. But if you ask me, this is the lifeblood of GTA. GTA simply wouldn't exist if it wasn't this absurdist parody of the real world.
What's going on here? These protesters want to stop us from fracking. You conservatives! Always trying to stop loving people from fracking. What century are you living in? If these three men want to frack each other, what business is it of yours? If these two want to spit roast this guy, why do I care?
What? But they want to drill really deep and make a mess.
Waking up inside another place like this, a confusion, a jumbled mess. Pick it up, pick it up. Wondering how these shadows let it get like this.
Also, it's an open world game, you know, that's all usually really fun. No other game really matches it. But anyway, what it can do without, in my opinion anyway, is mean-spirited humor. Now, this might be a stretch. I don't think it is at all. But it seems to me like this is exactly what they wanted to do. Unlike what Steven Crowder and other pretend comedians want you to think, not all jokes are funny, and you're not above criticism just because it's just a joke, bro. Bro, it's just a joke, dude. If that's your knee-jerk reaction to defending an unfunny joke, that tells me you have a child's understanding of comedy. And before anybody comments, well, actually, you don't understand. He's not upset that the game won't be misogynistic. He's upset that the company is compromising their creative work in order to not offend people. And that's wrong. First of all, if that's what he meant, that's not what he said. So I think you're just making assumptions there. Second, the title does not reflect that at all, because he clearly thinks there will be no controversial jokes, whatever that means. Third of all, you're further proving to me that you have a child's understanding of comedy. Comedy is more than just offending people. Any brain-dead idiot can offend people on purpose. That's not impressive. George Carlin didn't just walk up on stage and call everyone the N-word. Bill Burr doesn't just walk up on stage and say all fags should die. Why? Because it's not funny. GTA is very culturally significant. It has a lot to say about society. I think it would be best for them to make every joke count. If a joke really is nothing more than putting people down, maybe it's best left on the cutting room floor, don't you think? Clearly Rockstar themselves agree with me. Maybe you kids are too young to know this, but back in the day, GTA Vice City had a lot of horrible lines aimed at Haitian immigrants. Mostly from one character, obviously, but they were still pretty bad. Bad to the point of them changing the lines of dialogue in future copies of the game. And you can cry, creative should be able to do whatever they want to the heavens all day long, all you want. It's literally just a waste of breath because profit comes first. So before you complain about people not wanting to offend others, maybe ask yourself how they are offending others, instead of just blindly defending everything in some kind of wildly misguided understanding of comedy and freedom of speech. I don't know, that's just a thought. That being said, I'd just like to ask Dyfo, Molding Food, whatever the hell his name was, did it not occur to you that there's a possibility that the jokes they're no longer using or taking out weren't even funny in the first place? What if these jokes are nothing more than just punching down on minorities? You know, jokes that 99% of the time are not funny at all. Oh yeah, and speaking of people who don't understand the GTA legacy, I would argue that you understand it even less than the fat feminists you blame for everything wrong with the world. If you really examine the humor behind GTA, it's very absurdist in nature. The jokes are almost always punching up, going after political parties, corporations, celebrities, you name it. GTA has been very thoughtful in its humor, and this can be seen in its characters. We could talk about like Nico Bellic from GTA 4 and many other characters on the game, but let's just talk about 5 to keep things on topic. Sure, it's impossible to argue they're good people, yeah, you got a point, but at the very least, they were characters that were well written and morally consistent. The main characters being well written is a lot more important to GTA than you think. I would argue that it's a big part of the legacy of GTA. It's easy to say that Trevor is just a crazy psycho, but if you really pay attention, he's much more than that. He's one of the most loyal friends you'll ever know. He's a strongly emotional man, to the point where he does crazy things like kidnap Patricia Madrazo, or like when he figured out that Michael lied to him and that Brad was buried in his place, major fucking spoiler alert by the way, he left him to die because he didn't consider him a friend anymore. Michael was quite the cold and calculating criminal, but it's his interactions with Franklin that really humanize him and helps us see that he's just a frustrated man who wants to connect with his family. Yes, he lied, mostly to protect himself and his family from Trevor. I mean, would GTA 5 be the same without anything I just described? One last point to tie everything together. Where does the misogynistic or racist jokes targeting minorities, where does any of that shit fit into here? I mean, you know that this doesn't make any character seem likable or endearing, right? Trevor would be nowhere near the beloved character he is if he treated women and trans people like shit. So you really have to ask, what the fuck are you even upset about? Do you really think that there will be no jokes whatsoever or something equally as absurd? The odds of something that stupid happening are basically zero because nobody wants to make money more than Take-Two if their shark card policy is anything to go by. If you're taking out all that shit for no reason other than to make some incoherent political point, they wouldn't last. They'd be gone within a week. Simple laws of capitalism dictate that this is an absurd thing to ever even consider. So in other words...
Cringe. There's no other word for it. This makes me cringe. It's embarrassing.
You know what's extra funny about this video? This is literally the kind of video I would make to satirize the anti-SJW community in 2022. I mean, clickbait title and thumbnail, blaming feminism for everything I don't like with no evidence other than my feelings, inadvertently defending bigotry by screaming free speech with no understanding to its actual meaning, complaining about feminism destroying the quote-unquote legacy of my favorite franchise while proving that you know even less about it than the people you hate, complaining about small changes you don't like while unironically calling everybody else a snowflake because they bitch about small changes they don't like, bitching about political bias while clearly having the opposite agenda as if that makes you any better, There you go. There's the formula for your average anti-SJW video. Just completely brainless content. Anti-SJWs have just become... Fuck, man. They just become so beyond parody at this point. It's that it's getting harder and harder to make fun of them because they're already so absurd. I feel like I don't even have to say anything. Nobody who isn't indoctrinated into your weird anger-fueled cult takes you seriously anymore. And videos like this aren't helping you in that regard. Anyway, I'm Karina McDaniels, and you should probably get out of here before my dad kicks your ass. See you next time, and remember to knock next time, or else I'm gonna knock you out, okay? Love you. Bye.
Looking around the place I put my existence, I let things